Good day. Welcome to another episode of Gents podcast. I'm your host, Captain P, with my fellow co-hosts Tinas and Joe. It's now the end of the year, the 19th of December. Christmas is around the corner. New Year's celebrations around the corner. Time to spend time with family, friends, children, spouses of either gender, celebrating the holiday period. A time to reflect on some of the successes of 2023 and some of the failures in 2023. Nothing's always 100% in life. So it's appreciate and be grateful for the successes and reflect and re-strategize for a new year in 2024. So you know how we've done it in the last 6 months of us starting this Emergence podcast. We usually have fun, and today's episode is no other episode. So we'll be having lots of fun, discussing various things. Tinas is glowing. His team won. Finally, Chelsea. They found their own rabbit to beat up. So we'll talk about the Premier League. We'll talk about the Jonathan Major's court decision. We'll reflect on, again, Zahara, her music, and some of the things which have come out in the past week after her death. And then we'll just have a bit of frivolity, talk about some relationship issues, bit of fun. So, gents, how has been your week? Joe?
Oh, my week has been fantastic. We're getting ready for Christmas. A little bit of shopping around for Christmas gifts for the kids. Yeah, pretty much, it's full on.
Tinas, how has been your week, brother?
Oh, mine is very hot, man. Woo. I am not loving this weather at all. Obviously getting ready for Christmas, yeah. But yeah, it's crazy.
You know, at the start of the year, you always say, I'm going to put money aside to plan for Christmas. And then December comes and be like, shit.
You're like, yeah. Yeah, I'm behind right now.
So-and-so wants this gift, so-and-so wants this gift, particularly, when you ask the younger generation, they're not talking about, I want 2K this, I want Switch, I want this, I want this. And you'll be like, mate, some of us on Christmas, if you got a drumstick, you'd have been celebrating. So, but no, let's have
a new pair of school shoes.
You got a new pair of school. That was your Christmas gift, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Wayne Brenner.
Yeah,
exactly. Toughies,
man. But now, as I said, let's have some fun. So the Premier League, we've got some. The biggest game of the weekend was obviously Liverpool, Man United. Fortunately, there's no one laughing at another person in the show. It was a 0-0 draw. Man, you looked more organized. I think prior to this game, everyone was thinking it's going to be another 7-0 with the way Man U was performing. But Man U did very well. Of course, as an avid supporter, even though I get angry sometimes, I woke up at 2:30 a.m. I was there live and direct. It was a tough Monday working yesterday because you'd be tired and knackered after working up early, but it was a good draw. And the red card almost spoiled it. That was a very silly red card by the ref. I think the ref wanted to be the center of attention. Michael Oliver. Some of the commentary was like he's a silly knobhead. Just wanted to be the center of attention. Joe, I know Liverpool is your team.
Not quite happy because I was expecting a win so I can brush it off your face. But unfortunately, it's sport. A game happens. And I think Manchester United, they did pretty well given, their performance throughout, the beginning of the season. But, as you know, Liverpool is still up there. We've been displaced by us now, but we're still up there.
Yeah, Liverpool.
It's on number 2 now.
No, a point behind. Point behind Arsenal. Looking at the top 3, man, it's just 1 point separating Man City. They're the shock. They're 5 points away. But I think last week we spoke that Man City can go on a 15-game winning streak. That's
Yeah.
the most dangerous thing about Man City. So let's not count them out. And again, Newcastle, number 6 above Man United. Chelsea, we can now see them in the top half finally.
It's still in the top 10. Yeah,
It's still in
not
the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, as I said, they found their level when they beat Sheffield United 2-0. They were Wolves number last. So the Premier League is heating up. December, there's always fixtures back to back. Keeps the Christmas period, active. I think there's matches tomorrow. The match day.
Chelsea and Newcastle tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
just before we move, we'll keep moving on. I saw Roy Keane angry about some comments that Van Dijk made. Does anybody know what that was about? Was just a passing video clip, and I don't really know what it was about.
Oh, yeah, no. So Van Dijk made a arrogant comment that said, one team only wanted to win. Man United is buzzing because they got a 0-0 draw. And then Roy Keane responded to say, these guys shouldn't talk so much. They've only won one trophy in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but look, as I said, Anfield has always been tough. Even when Man United were at the top, you'd be happy to get a draw. The result which Ten Hag, Ferguson, most of the times you'd lose. Liverpool would rise up to the occasion in Anfield. So the 0-0 draw, yeah, I'm chuffed. I'm happy about it. It was worth waking up at 2:30 a.m. to watch that.
Yep, that's the best that you can do.
It's all right. It's a transition period. Liverpool, it took 29 years.
Oh man, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, so let's
because we end up changing our name to Loserpool.
Yes. yes.
Yeah, but we were quite steadfast though. We never lost hope.
Yeah, but look, as I said, Liverpool, I think when you saw the game changing in that game is when Man U, in the 30th minute of the first half, they quietened the crowd. Anfield was quiet. It wasn't like Anfield where it's like you've gone into the beehive, you know what I mean? Where the fans are right on top of you. So I think tactically Ten Hag did well. I think these are some of the tactics he should have done even from last year, playing that type of game away from home. Going away from home, just be solid in the midfield, try and hit the team on the break. That's how Man United did it. I think a lot of people always, talk about Ferguson, swashbuckling, attacking, but that's how we played away from home. And we still enjoyed it. The only difference is that we were winning trophies.
This time around, not likely.
You never know, man. We can go on a 20-game winning streak. How do you know that? Then we'll be number one. Come May next year, 2024, you didn't want me.
Wishful thinking, brother. Wishful thinking.
You are United, not City.
You wouldn't want me to be hosting this episode if we do that. If we come from number 7 all the way to the top, the Man United fans, the noise would make the whole of summer next year will be unbearable. So moving to La Liga, we still got our surprise package, Girona, 17 games, almost halfway in the season, 2 points clear of Real Madrid, 7 points clear of third place Barcelona, and 10 points ahead of fourth place Atletico Madrid. So definitely Girona, if they keep up this pace, they will be in the top 2 or top 3, which is the surprise package of the season.
They're pulling off a Leicester.
They are. I think they are the list of I think Leicester was 2015, isn't it? So of the 2020s, I think Girona may be our Leicester of the 2020s. Yeah. Pulling off an upset there in the La Liga. Let's see if they keep the momentum. Real Madrid had a big injury. I think one of their defenders, David Alaba, he got injured. So let's see how we go. I think that's pretty much it for sport, With really sport, we know it's happening. I think let's move into that debate, which I had to cut you off last week, Tina. I saw you very passionate about the MJ and LeBron discussion, you know?
Oh, mate, for me, that's done deal and sealed, brother.
But
Like,
LeBron won the NBA in-season tournament.
Yeah. He's still playing football. He's still playing basketball. So yes, he has the opportunity to still keep winning accolades. He has it, but as I alluded to last week, look, who right now in the NBA is not playing basketball because of Michael Jordan?
No, of course, majority of people are playing because of Michael Jordan. We know that.
Yeah. So, look, we just have to say what it is.
Yeah, but okay. I were discussing with another colleague, another friend about branding. Michael Jordan got the best branding ever. There were other comparable players in his era, but they were not branded the way Nike. Let's focus on Nike.
Listen.
Nike branded him very, very well. Let's admit that the person who was the marketing or branding officer should get at least $1 billion for what they did for Michael Jordan.
Do you know that before they went to Michael, they went to Magic Johnson? Mm-hmm. Magic Johnson refused to sign a contract with Nike, and he went with, was it Reebok or was it Adidas? I think it was Reebok, and it was a lousy contract. And only after that did these guys then go to Michael Jordan. So again, it's all about decision. The player that we're talking about, the caliber, for him to be able to negotiate such a contract and be able to influence whatever came after that. There were opportunities for everybody. You go talk about all the other players that were there at that point. There were opportunities for them, but they didn't take it as much as they didn't convert those opportunities as much as Michael did, because of who he is, and we can't take that away from him.
Yeah, that's very true, Tinas. But I think with the point that Captain P is talking about is as good as Michael Jordan is, but we cannot underestimate the power of branding, because with the Nike branding, it made his name worldwide. I'll tell you, even people who've never stepped foot in the court, who've never touched a basketball, if you ask them about basketball, they tell you Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but that's
the power of branding.
Yeah, but you get to a place where you're branded, because you look. Let's talk about Messi. Yeah. Let's. I don't want to talk about the rest of Messi's career. I just want to talk about what he did in America only for the past year.
Yes.
Yeah. Branding comes, but it's also based on your ability to do whatever it is that you do. In this case, Messi or Michael Jordan, basketball, if you're good at what you do, branding makes it easier to sell, because you know what? We have something to reference you to. Messi has sold so many jerseys simply because he's coming to MLS and he started scoring goals. I think he ended up being the top goal scorer of the I mean, I started to be corrected there, but with that just short while that he was there, can you just imagine the impact that he has just had in that short space of time that is there? We can't all say branding. No, yes, branding plays a major part. Branding gets you out there, but they're getting you out there because of what you can be.
Yeah, but I'll take an example of Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah,
he didn't have a power pack of branding behind him, but he'll be in the levels of Messi and Ronaldo. But because of lack of proper, strong branding behind him, you didn't hear him in the streets. you know.
Yeah, but whose fault is that?
No. It's not about whose fault it is.
It's the
It's
ability
about
of you
the
getting your
ability.
brand out
Yes.
there. That's the main
Yes.
point. Is the ability to get your brand out there. As a footballer, you would say R9, the phenomenon, the original Ronaldo,
Mhm.
is a better player than Cristiano. Pace, dribbling, finishing,
Power,
everything.
everything. Yeah.
Everything.
Mm.
But the branding wasn't executed well.
Yeah.
All right. In people's eyes, people think Neymar is the best Brazilian player ever. Why? Because Neymar has got the branding. Neymar has been on.
So what are we saying here?
What
we
we're saying?
saying?
Okay. Look, Michael Jordan, technical ability and winning 6 rings, he's the greatest of all time. Unless someone does that feat of winning 7 in a row, undefeated. Of course, people will bring, I think, the other gentleman from the Celtics who passed away, forgotten his name, who won 11 championships. But the NBA only had 8 teams. And it was a very, very smaller league. But MJ won it when it was the 82 games. It was a bigger league, more. Everything had improved in terms of, it hasn't improved, of course, to LeBron's level, the sports nutrition, but it had improved at his time. But what we are saying is that the ability to market your brand, right? Even as Joe alluded, even ladies who don't even care about basketball, they will tell you, I want an Air Jordan.
Are we talking about being the greatest player, or are we talking about being famous? What are we talking about?
Yeah, what we are saying. I'm talking about
accolades on the court.
Okay, but LeBron is technically better than MJ.
Yes, and this is why I said again.
So
let me reiterate.
So if you want us to say who's the better player, it's LeBron.
Who is the greatest is MJ.
Because of what? Of
but
the brand.
Who is better player is LeBron. Now it comes back to the branding issue. Like you can be up in arms with Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Who is better than the other? People will be saying Cristiano Ronaldo is better than Messi. But on the field, Messi is million miles better.
I think my point would be here. My point would be, Michael Jordan, apart from what LeBron has done, he did not have the competition or the. You guys could allude to sports branding, but what we are also forgetting when it comes to someone like LeBron is sports science.
Yes.
He's only able to do what he has done because somebody has told him, if you can do 1, 2, 3,
yes,
it's proven scientifically you're going to go there. So as much as you could argue and say, because of Michael Jordan is the best, as you are saying, because of marketing, we could also say LeBron has got the numbers he has because of sports science. But what I think is the biggest point is Michael Jordan managed to play basketball and be the best without that whole who is the best. He was doing it simply because of the love of the game. He was showing what he was doing because he was he was good at what he did.
Yeah.
There is no sports science involved. There's no counting of points. There's no doing this. Whereas LeBron from day one knew how many points he needed to score. He knew how many rebounds he needed to make. He knew, so he's playing the whole basketball game with targets. This is somebody who was not playing with targets. So if you are setting yourself in a place where you are chasing after something, the fact that you're chasing after the numbers that I did my friend, you are already acknowledging that I am the best.
Mhm.
And I think this is my logic, to be honest. Everything that is now set okay, not everything, but most of the things, they are now set against what Michael Jordan did. There are other people who have accolades in the NBA, but they're not even spoken about.
Yeah. Now, thank you. You just brought the point yourself.
You've just
They are not
answered yes.
talked about, but they were really good. Like Rodman. Rodman could change the whole game single-handedly,
Yes.
but he's not highly talked about. Why? Because of branding. In his case, because back then people were not comfortable with someone who identifies. So
I think he was just a hot rod, to be honest. I just think it's because of who he was.
yeah, but it doesn't. We can't take away the fact that even MJ would talk about Rodman.
Look, we want to look at, if we come to football, let's look at somebody like what's this guy, Mario Balotelli.
Yeah.
That guy was talented beyond doubt, but what always overshadows him is his behavior and his lack of discipline.
Yes.
We would never even know what he is capable of doing, or I don't even know what accolades he has done. But it's simply because of who he was, the face of what he did. And we can even apply it to people like Rodman, Michael Jordan, and all of that. We can apply it and just say, listen, the only reason why those people, and yeah, it could come down to branding, but what we're saying is this guy embodied that. Whatever that was branded for him, or whatever that was brought, he embodied it.
Embodied what? You can't say you embodied that.
No. Yeah. So what he's saying is, despite the branding, he was that good.
He was good.
Yeah. So the branding was sugar on the top, but he was already a good player.
No, I don't like you guys coming and saying Michael Jordan is who he is because of branding. Like branding, if you know how these things work, we said that the branding will follow you because of your accolades.
The 6-0 sets him apart.
Yeah.
No game 7 in the NBA finals, right?
Yeah.
6 finals MVPs.
Yeah.
Right. But if we talk about longevity, consistency, he even took an 18-month break in between. Right? I'm not a LeBron apologist, but LeBron has done it 21 years in a row. Yes, okay, you brought your point about sports science. He's being helped. He spends $1 million on his body, chefs, whatever, cryo chambers, whatever they do to relax the muscles, refresh, and look good. Kudos to him. But what we're saying is that there are people, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? The cap.
Yeah.
He won, I believe, 6 championships. He brought the sky hook. He changed how centers were playing. He's the one who molded people like Shaquille O'Neal. You've got people like Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most dominant players, 4 championships in a row. You've got Kobe Bryant, who was touted as the next Michael Jordan, 5 championships. But what is the difference? It's the branding and the marketing which Michael Jordan received through Nike, which elevated the NBA, right? Number one, into a worldwide sport, and it elevated him into an iconic brand. How many sneakers have come out, right, which can't compete with the Jordan brand? The Jordan can remix the 1981 kicks, and they'll still beat the new ones that are coming out.
Let's not get things twisted here. We're not talking about selling shoes here, mate.
I'm just giving you an example.
We're not talking about that.
We're talking
this whole the greatest of all time. We're not even talking about shoes.
People. Okay, but I told you, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was the leading point scorer, which was just broken by LeBron. 40 years later, 6 championships, MVPs, right?
So
one in
so
college.
again,
So you can put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as one of the greatest of all time.
yes,
But he's
again,
not. But what happened with him? What happened with him? He didn't receive what?
So basically, what you're saying is people. I think your argument actually works against you because you're saying someone like LeBron is only there because of what he's trying to achieve now. But there are people that have already achieved whatever it is that they achieved without even having been noticed. But this guy is noted. He's using everything. So, like, to be honest, can we talk about other people before we even start talking about LeBron? That's exactly what you say.
No.
Let's talk about Kareem.
Yeah, we can talk
let's
about
talk
Kareem.
about
but look at LeBron's
LeBron.
accolade. Let's talk about LeBron's accolade. He's got 4 championships. He went to the NBA Finals 10 years in a row. Every time LeBron's team was there in his peak, they would go to the finals. He even took tomato cans, the Cleveland Cavalier teams, to the final.
And did they win?
Yeah, but it's not about winning.
What is it about?
No. I'm giving with
what are accolades about?
No. With the team that he had, there was no expectations of him winning because he was facing juggernauts. Tell me which juggernaut MJ faced.
What is the difference between somebody like Kyrie and somebody like LeBron? Let's talk about just the play, the type of play.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Asking a question.
Oh, you're asking a question?
Yeah.
No,
I'm asking.
No, Kyrie is a point guard. And Kyrie, he was a Cleveland Cavaliers. He was touted as the next big thing. But what for him to win the championship, who had to come back to Cleveland to win the championship?
Okay. What I was just referring to was basically the physicality. That's the biggest difference between those guys. They can all score points. Kyrie is a very good dribbler. He's a good three-pointer. Naturally, if I should add, LeBron, physicality. He attacks the rim.
He's one of the best passers ever.
Exactly. Again, when you now look at what LeBron does and can do, if you want to then tally that with sports science, you will find that he ticks all the boxes that are expected of him, of somebody who has been taught what to do, when to do it. I could even go as much as saying he's not it's a learned skill for him, whereas some people it's natural.
But him was natural. He was the next big thing. He came straight out of high school. How can you say it was a learned thing? He came straight out of high school, bro.
We're talking about sports science here, bro. My guy.
Look at. You never get off my MG.
Okay, I'll give another example. Okay, this maybe my point comes out better when I talk about someone like Steph Curry. Steph Curry, the exact opposite of what LeBron is. No physicality whatsoever. He rarely attacks the rim. What does he do? He shoots from the 3. That's his major thing. And what is he doing? He's scoring the points. He's getting the job done without. It's a different type of play that he has. So this is what I'm saying. Like you could take endorsements and take everything that else you're talking about, or this and that, but then that guy can easily surpass Michael Jordan with less games played and have more points simply because he has learned how to do it the most effective way. And that's sports science for you.
Okay. Look, we'll continue the discussion into the new year. Let's see what happens with the Lakers this year. They might win the NBA championship. What will you do? LeBron will have 5 rings.
Look, for me, I think maybe I'll reiterate. For me, it's not. I don't care if even LeBron wins 10. But my point is, he's striving to be where he is, or to be where he wants to be simply because he's following in the footsteps of somebody who has done it. So for him, the greatest ever player, even for someone like LeBron, can easily become Michael Jordan. I don't really know who he deems as the greatest player, but simply because he's chasing after what somebody has done, you're always going to be in the shadow of that person. Even though if you surpass, you're always going to be in that shadow.
Yep. We're talking of even Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I find a lot of people, they continue to be in the shadows of Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yeah.
But there are people who can actually perform even way better than Michael Jackson.
Exactly.
But because he took the button stick first.
It's like if I want to just
what you're saying about other people performing better than MJ, man. Eesh, guys, I don't.
It's like when you talk of dancehall, reggae dancehall, like my guy, there is never going to be a bigger artist than Shabba Ranks.
Yeah.
Even though he has less album, even though he did not make as much money as all the other people that came, but Shabba Ranks is always going to be daddy.
Come on. You've got Buju Banton. What are you talking about? You've got Buju Banton, bro.
Nah.
Oh, Shabba Ranks was.
Come on. With Ting-a-ling-a-ling. Come on, guys. I know that's the song you want to run to. Or bedroom.
My guy.
Come on.
My guy.
Anyway.
The conversation for another day.
We'll talk about the Shabba Ranks song and Buju Banton. Because you can't say that, man. Buju, did you see his concert when he came out of prison?
No. Again, this is what I'm saying. It's not about what you're capable of doing now. It's about whose footsteps are you following.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We won't finish.
We can even touch on boxing. There are a lot of Mike Tyson and what have you, but when people speak of boxing,
it's Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And yes, we could even talk about Mike Tyson and say, oh my God, he was a beast and this and this. And even if they could have gotten into the same ring, and probably he would have won. But whose footsteps is he following?
Yeah. If you take, like technicals to technicals assessment, you find that if they are in the same ring, Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson at their prime, Muhammad Ali will be knocked out.
Oh, definitely. And this is what I'm saying. It's not about the performance that you're now giving.
Guys, what you're saying, Muhammad Ali would skin Mike Tyson, man. Come on. Boxing wise.
This guy, now you're just arguing for the sake of arguing. Have you seen,
have
you seen Mike Tyson in the ring?
Mike Tyson in his prime.
Muhammad Ali in his prime. Did you see Muhammad Ali in his prime? Have you watched some of the footage, the movement? You would be too fast for Mike Tyson, man. You guys are talking. Anyway.
My friend.
Anyway. And moving on, let's into the issue of fighting, but this one is domestic fighting. Shocking result in the case of Jonathan Majors, the American Marvel actor, who's been found guilty of assaulting his former partner and harassment. But I believe it's look, just to be honest, it's a bit of a fucked up decision. Looking at the video which is moving around, this guy was running away to protect his legacy, himself, and they still charge him with convict him for domestic violence. Adding to what was raised last week in our meeting about 1 out of 3 men suffering domestic violence, which is never raised. Any form of violence, especially violence against women. Here at Amajen's podcast, we call that out. It's one of the worst things you can do. But we also have to reflect that there is violence against men. And if you can hear that, whatever, was it an Uber driver or taxi driver who said that this man did not touch him, did not touch her. It was the lady who was, being aggressive, and you can see him running away. What are your thoughts on that decision, gentlemen? I know it's a sensitive topic, but I think we need to be honest with how we feel, because as men, you've still run away, but you now have got a conviction on your record.
There's no such thing as self-defense for men when it comes to domestic violence. Anytime you try to defend yourself, you become the perpetrator. So, in short, men are ignored
Yeah.
in the whole equation.
Yeah.
But what is the logic here for that to be the case? Like, what is the? I understand their women, women's rights, and women could, again, physically they could be termed as a lesser sex, but there seems to be a drive that wants to equate women to men. So how come that equation or never seems to is almost what can I say? It's almost like applies to certain situations, but not across the board. If a like you're saying, if a woman slaps you, if you slap her back, you have done more than what she has done, even though she's the aggressor. If she pushes you, and if you fall in the water, and if you come out, she tries to push you, and you push her, and she falls into the water, you are the aggressor.
Yeah. So I think to answer that, it's actually the whole system is designed like that. Our legal system is designed like that. Our support structures are designed like that. If you look through all the, let's say, for example, domestic violence support services around, I'll give you an example in Australia. If you look anywhere where it's written domestic violence, they're saying we protect women against domestic violence. And then men's referral services is a men's support to change behavior so that they don't attack women. There is nowhere where they say protection of men against domestic violence. So it's protection.
But for these people, what I'm eager to know is these people who do this, make these laws. So are there no men there? Are there no men who can challenge that that's sort of
It's a
narrative?
hot potato. It's a hot potato narrative.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
I don't understand. If you everybody here knows of one or two people who have been abused by a woman, but maybe they did not say anything, or maybe they did not take it far.
Yeah.
But the examples are there.
Yeah, so that's the good thing you also pointed out there, Tinas. Men suffer in silence. So the majority of the men statistics are not included in the...
But do they even want the sentence? Do they even want the stat? Because I don't think they want them.
Yeah, but if we as men advocate for that and push for that and make noise like a Me Too movement, then it will force the policymakers to push that forward. But now, because we suffer in silence, if I have issues, you will know the issues that I have when I'm in the coffin.
Yeah. You know, because it even applies to things like jobs and
yeah, go ahead, Tinas. They now talk. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like you'd notice that there's more drive to push women through into certain positions, but just the decision making alone is very questionable because there's an element of emotions that is always assigned to how things are done at the workplace. Certain decisions are done because you can lift more weight than she can, but you want her to be in that place. So let her lift that way. Why then do you then come and say, oh, guys, please come and help? But you put that person there because you said they can do that job.
Yeah, that's where the equation does not balance. Because you see, it brings us to that issue where you remember that Jordan Peterson,
Yeah.
when he was talking about equal opportunities and equal outcomes issue, to say, all right, if you want equal opportunity, we need to have 50-50 allocation of workers, male and female, even in construction.
Yeah.
Why are you always focused on the C-suite,
Yeah.
like on the executives?
Yeah.
Why not in the bricklayers, on the road construction?
You want to talk about parliament, you want to talk about CEOs, you want to talk about doctors, you want to talk about this, but
There is no equal
Oh.
distribution.
exactly.
So the idea is even the policies are saying that equal rights, but everything is cherry picked to the extent that if it's good for them, then they follow the policy. If it's not good for them, then the policy does not apply.
Captain P, you wanted to add on?
Yeah, no. To go back, I think there was a point raised about men, going to the grave or keeping some of their things. I think with men, there's no ability to find a safe space. You know what I mean? Coming to another bloke to say, "Hey, man, in my place, I've walked in and my shirts have been ripped all on the floor, or my bottles." Or my bottles of wine have been smashed all over the floor. Who can you go as a man to tell that, to say this is what's happened? Because of the way we've been raised to say you swallow it in, you figure it out, you find a solution. So that's where the eruption ends up happening, where you end up having grievous domestic violence, right? Because this gentleman, some, as I said, let's put it out there. There are people who are just naturally abusive. They just wake up and they're violent against their partners, their mistresses, their wives, their girlfriends, whatever. Those are bad people. But there are people who've just been prodded, and they don't have an outlet to share that.
All right. So coming back to this Jonathan Majors issue, so he's been attacked, and he is allegedly being accused of attacking her while he's trying to collect his phone, and then he broke her finger. Her finger was fractured and bruised. So that's where the charge is coming from.
But that's a scuffle.
Yeah.
You have my phone.
Because it's not domestic violence with intent. That's why they didn't say it's domestic violence with intent. It's domestic violence. I don't know whatever court technology they used, but they still charged him with that domestic violence.
But isn't there also a charge for this woman for taking personal property of a person?
That's already thrown out the window because of his reaction, eh? But again, that's a form of harassment. Isn't that a form of harassment?
It's a form of harassment, but now they're saying that she was experiencing emotional crisis because of what she saw on the phone.
Yeah, but
she's justified.
She touched the phone without knowing what she's going to see. So the moment she touched the phone, if you want to get into it, the moment she touched that phone, she got into a space that she was not supposed to be getting into without consent. And look, I mean, we could
you can break
it down as much as we want, but the thing here is clear. It's clear that there's obviously not a very fair approach.
There's a bit of
to
bias.
Exactly. And I think he's not the first guy that has suffered. Some will even go to jail, and some will even get the death sentence for things that were not in their power. I guess I was just trying to question the whole logic behind talking about fairness, because it really puzzles me. Like I just. I don't.
Yeah.
It really does puzzle me.
Everyone is flabbergasted. It's a flabbergasting discussion, isn't it?
No, no. I was also reading that Captain P, you were talking that she went to the club and then she came back later to the
Oh,
apartment,
that
right?
was Tina's. That was Tina's. Yeah.
That was Tina's. Yeah. So now when she came back, she started calling and texting. So she called and texted like 32 times, attacking measures, left,
Yeah.
right, center. That's
Mm.
abuse.
But it's not considered in a case like that. You hear that it was thrown out. It was not evidence enough for the court. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what it means for men. But there's nothing that you can do that is ever going to be enough as a man when you face situations like this. I guess if somebody's to hit you, you just have to.
Suck it up, man.
And you could even be unlucky that someone can even hit you and go and say he hit me.
Mm.
And they can break their finger trying to hurt you.
Exactly.
And,
But unfortunately, but like you were saying, Uncle Captain P. I think it's very necessary. It's becoming more and more apparent that it's very necessary that men begin also to have a safe space of just talk. In the olden days, I believe we always hear of stories where men had their small meeting area where they can just sit down and talk about things, where it was just men and there's no judging, there's no nothing. Let's just talk about stuff. But the unfortunate thing is you find that the very same people that you're trying to build strength for and over will always have a place where they can then come back and judge you and say, you're men, how are you men? And you're sitting down and discussing issues like women.
Yeah.
But it's very necessary now in the world that we live in, because I think a few months ago, I happened to be around certain men who had been married and divorced, and it's amazing how some of these issues that you think are so petty, but when it comes to court, these issues can really just erupt against you, and you have no discourse over them. And this one guy was given an example of even just shouting above your voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That can just come back and haunt you. But how many people shout when they're angry? It's a natural human behavior.
Especially the others, the opposite sex now, they shout almost every day.
Exactly. But if you imagine that will be brought up in court and that turns against you, that you raised your voice.
Even looking, the way you look at them, that's a form. It's actually called intimidation.
So, but some of these things come out when you're around other men. Then give you advice and say, my guys, if you notice this, walk away, do this. You are never going to know of these things if you're not in a safe space.
Yeah,
so
you won't.
Yeah, you'll never.
It's all about having that safe space.
Yeah, I think men need it, to be honest. I think we're not saying to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, but men need to just build those pockets of trust around certain people, and just
even if it's one person, it's someone who you can go to just to unload and talk about certain things.
Yes.
Say, hey, man, I'm not good at the moment.
Yeah.
What should I do with this situation?
Yeah, without feeling judged.
Yeah.
Because if I come to Tina's and say, Tina's, I'm having issues, and then say, oh, you are weak. Next time I'm not coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other issue that will always happen, what some people end up doing is you discuss something in private with somebody, you go and you tell the wife, The wife then tells him.
Exactly.
And you know, you start hearing these things coming from, and again, there's always going to be women always start attacking your masculinity, or you're weak, or you're this, or you're that. But you know,
Oh, dear.
it's amazing.
Yeah, but
It's
you see,
amazing.
that's
It's
what
a lost
happens.
battle.
So you see that what we were talking about, the safe space, because you might share, you know, let's say for example, in this group, we are mates, we know each other, we get along. I share something, and you know,
Spills over.
Joyce had too much fun that weekend and says, "Oh, by the way, this is what's happening with
know?
Captain P."
Yeah, yeah.
And then now some of the ladies are weaker vessels. They can't keep a secret. It's gone to one person. It's already spread like wildfire.
And you know, there's always going to be that one person who is going
Gonna
to
come
then
and
come
ask
to
you.
you and say, "My guy, what's going on? I'm hearing this." You know,
That one person is the bad person now. The one who comes to you and asks you.
no, but they could be good because they're checking up on you.
Hey, but telling you what they've heard.
Yeah, what's wrong, my guy? Because I
No,
could be
it's
concerned.
it's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm concerned. Listen, my guy, because you know how certain issues can easily
Get out of hand.
Get out of hand.
get out of hand, or grow bigger, or just be blown out of proportion. In a place where you could have just said, and now I understand why men kill themselves. Someone can then take that and say, he was actually saying he wants to do this. You know what I'm saying? So if I then come to you and say, I heard that you want to do this. Well, no, I didn't know what I want. I was talking to this person and I said this and this and this, you know. So
it's already remixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're adding their own narratives on that one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What that game we used to play as kids, where you used to, was it called telephone or something? Where you used to whisper
Chinese
whispers.
Yeah, and you whisper into one, and then by the time it gets to the 10th person, the story has already changed.
Because someone is trying to process what they've had. And didn't you have a timer of seconds, like 20 seconds? You have to narrate what you've
heard. Yeah.
And by the time it gets to the other person, it's already a done deal. It's finished.
It's a different story altogether.
A different story altogether. So, yeah, but yeah, look, that was an interesting discussion. I think we'll wrap up our episode with the discussion about Zahara, the platinum selling South African singer-songwriter. I think when it broke last week, we're actually recording our episode and more information has come up. It's liver complications. The Guardian says problems with alcoholism. And I think there was a lot of distress in her life post the success of her album, which I believe she feels she wasn't fully credited for, and other people took advantage of her. I think, Tina, as you were mentioning that the person in question came out and was it an Instagram live?
I think it was on one of the news channels in South Africa that he came out and just alluded to the fact that he understands that people were saying things. Look, from what he explained, obviously she had her own record label. Actually, she had her own managing company, apparently.
Yeah.
So they were responsible for everything.
Yeah.
And I also watched a video where she was with Maggi, and she was alluding to the fact that, she could have $100,000 concert or show, but she ends up getting the 15,000 or something like that. And for her to get that 15,000, sometimes she had to chase after it.
Yeah.
So look, I think there's understanding is the entertainment business is not very friendly.
Yeah.
There's money to be made, and everybody wants to make the most.
And take
unfortunately,
people, yeah.
Exactly. Unfortunately, because they know the next person who could probably sit you on a higher chair. So for them, because of that, they want to take more money than what you are even earning.
Yeah.
as somebody who's doing the job on the ground.
Yeah.
I think it also touches on just personal management of these things. If you're in a space where you're getting these monies, 15,000 here, 15,000 there.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that money? Because you could be blowing it, thinking you are the best person or the best artist at that point, but then you're forgetting that 2-3 years down the road, you might be forgotten about, and how are you going to live? That stress will then come in, and then it takes over. All the things that you have been working towards reach a point where they stop, and they actually start regressing.
Yeah.
If there are loans, if there anything, you can't pay anymore. And guess what? The bank will just come and take you. They don't care who you are. They'll just come in and take away what is owed to them.
Yeah, what is due?
So I think there are a lot of lessons here that can be learned from her life.
Yeah.
And the testaments that came forth following a death. So yeah, it's quite sad, but
it's quite sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Joe, anything you want to allude with that one?
Now, I wanted to just touch base on the issue of alcoholism, because despite having all these issues with within the music industry, but the main issue to touch here is alcoholism, which I think her family came to try and talk to her about her alcoholism, to say, if you continue on this trajectory of alcoholism, this is gonna kill you. And then unfortunately it came to pass. So we need to have a good discussion around abuse of alcohol. It doesn't matter you're in the music industry, acting industry, or you're just a job blog around the corner. Alcoholism is real. If you use alcohol to try and numb your stresses, there are high chances that you can get addicted. Once you get addicted, whether you are in a good financial space or in a bad financial space, it's not good for you, because it's a slippery slope. And I was talking to another gentleman the other day, saying sometimes back when we were in uni, it took a few months for one of our friends to go down with alcohol because of excessive alcohol consumption. It's not good for the liver. It's either you can have liver cirrhosis, or you can have, I think it's called a liver ascites or something like that, where you get swelling around the liver, and it can result in death in short notice. So alcohol is dangerous, but alcohol is good.
How is it good?
you just need to know how much to drink.
That's it. You see,
I think the issue is
answer is
that
there.
the answer is about binge drinking. I think that's what is affecting people, the binge drinking aspect. I think when people go out night clubbing, they fill themselves up like a state school. You want to drink heavily before you get to a certain location, because you don't want to spend lots of money there. So I think, as Joy is alluding, I think it's just being mindful of the aspect. I think a good beer, 1 or 2, is not bad, but once it becomes a consistent everyday or thing, it can affect the long-term health of someone.
But I think at some point we just need to also talk about music contracts and things of such, because I feel like that's where a lot of people have really just been misused, or even just taken advantage of. I think there are a lot of artists that we can even just touch on, where the contracts that they were given were never meant to make them anything better from day one. So again, that's another topic for another day. Hopefully we'll be able to touch on that. But yeah, it's quite sad.
What's that?
Because when you look at the Zahara, I think as a closing for me, I didn't know much about her, but the few videos that I've just seen, she looked like she was a very lively person. She looked like she was somebody who was happy and relatable. But I think maybe at some point she would just go down, because I don't understand. She just seemed like she was a bubbly person.
Yeah, just going down the rabbit hole. I think, as I said, as we close off 2023, our last episode for 2023, it's not going down the rabbit hole. Find an outlet, find a safe space.
Yeah.
Talk to someone. Because numbing yourself with alcohol, you can numb yourself, but 8 hours later when you wake up, the problem is still there. The issue is still there. Find a solution to the problem, but also be grateful for where you come from. Grateful of your past, enjoy the present, and hope for the best for the future. I think that's the philosophy we need to take through. So, gents, it's been a good ride in 2023. We've had fun. We've had intense arguments, some fun topics, some controversial, sensitive topics. 2024 is going to be a roller coaster. Start January, as we know, the American election is around the corner. I think that's when. Right now, we've got a bit of a reprieve because it's Christmas. They're all thinking about Christmas ham, buying, shopping. But come January, when all the politicians are now back in their different locations, 2024 is going to be a roller coaster ride. Just have to buckle up and hope that you survive the ride, because it's going to be a wild ride in 2024. Let's be honest about that. Let's not try and sugarcoat. 2024 is going to be a wild ride, particularly with all these still protagonist wars which are there. We've got the Ukraine-Russia one in the background, got the Israel in Gaza, it's still in the background. And then you've got, of course, the volatile situation in America there. Are they going to indict him? They're going to put him in jail. What will be the reaction in the world? So, to all our listeners, we wish you a happy holiday. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive, especially during the holidays. Enjoy time with the family. Enjoy the chickens, the lambs, the prawns, whatever you have for Christmas in your area. Enjoy it. And we wish you all a good start to 2024. And let's all buckle up and work hard in 2024 and achieve all our dreams and goals. Thank you for listening to another episode of Emergence Podcast. I'm your host, Captain P. Wishing you all a happy Christmas and a good start to the new year. Tina's Joe. Thank you, gents.
Thank you, gents.
Let's enjoy ourselves in 2024.